Hey, welcome to today's video. I'm Richard Chapo. I'm an internet lawyer in San Diego, California. So today we're looking at the question of, is the California Consumer Privacy Act pay for privacy? And so the California Consumer Privacy Act is a new privacy law in California, obviously. It's also referred to as CCPA. It goes into effect January 1st, 2020. Now, the CCPA is going to grant consumers quite a few new rights, and businesses are going to have to respond when those rights are exercised. So, for example, a consumer can submit a request to have certain of their personal information deleted, and a business will have to do that. The consumer can ask that the business produce all the information, all the personal information that is collected about the consumer. And so a business would then have to produce that. And so it's a much more interactive environment. And the question is, does this incorporate the pay for privacy concept? So pay for privacy is pretty much what it sounds like. You pay as a consumer an additional fee so that a company doesn't collect or at least share your information with third parties. So the idea is that you're enhancing your privacy. So let's use a real world example just to understand how it would happen. Let's consider Facebook. As you probably know, Facebook's business model is to provide a free service, Facebook, and it then makes money by collecting personal information about users. And it collects it from their profile. It collects it from the information that they voluntarily provide. But then it also goes through and it looks at all your comments and everything you're posting, and it builds essentially a database based on that information. So if you're posting about your dog all the time, for instance, you would be included in the database in categories related to things like pet care, pet services, veterinary services, those kinds of things. And then if, for instance, a dog hospital, pet hospital came online onto Facebook and they wanted to advertise, they can go into the database and, a lot of your personal information is going to appear within the targeted audiences that they're going to focus on in their campaigns. And so a lot of people don't like that. And with the pay for privacy concept, you would basically pay Facebook a fee to be excluded from all of those databases. So your information, in theory, would be kept more confidential. You wouldn't receive a lot of that advertising and what have you. And so you'd pay a fee, and nobody knows what the fee would be. In studies, Americans haven't been too excited about the pay for privacy concept, but it may become a bigger issue because we have a conflict between the interest of business and the interest of these companies. And, companies need to make money. That's what they're there for. And so the question is, how are they going to do that? And if people get sick enough of all the privacy violations and get sick enough of, having all their information used, well, we may see more of a move to the privacy, pay for privacy concept. But what about the CCPA? Does it incorporate a pay for privacy idea? And the answer is no. When consumers exercise their rights under the CCPA, not only is there no pay for privacy aspect to it, but there's actually an anti-discrimination requirement that arguably would invalidate any pay for privacy effort brought under the CCPA. So section 1798.125, subsection A1, you can see it right there. A business shall not discriminate against a consumer because a consumer exercised any of the consumer's rights under this title. And the form of discrimination that comes to mind the most here would be forcing the consumer to pay more money for something. So if the consumer starts exercising their rights and you say, you exercise these rights and you're going to have to pay more. Well, in theory, that is a form of pay for privacy. And the CCPA clearly says you cannot do that. Now, there is one exception to this. It's going to come up very rarely, but it needs to be mentioned. And that is, there is one element where you would have to pay. And that is if you make a request to a business for them to produce all the personal information they have about you, and it turns out it is a massive amount of information, well, they can charge you for the process of gathering and putting that information together and delivering it to you. Now, again, going to happen very rarely. We don't know exactly what the limits are. We're hoping the California Attorney General will provide some guidance. But, for most people, that's just not going to be a concept or going to be a concern. So is the California Consumer Privacy Act pay for privacy? No, it's not. But pay for privacy is a concept that I think we're probably going to see coming up more and more as businesses who have a business model that's based on monetizing private data, look for other ways to make money. and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. So if you have any questions about the CCPA or about this video, feel free to reach out to me at SoCal Internet Lawyer. You can also subscribe to this channel. We'll be posting more CCPA videos. In fact, you can go to our page on YouTube for Richard A. Chapo, and we have a playlist with a bunch of CCPA videos where you may be able to find answers to any questions that you have. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving me a thumbs up. If not, I feel shame. Thumbs down. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a good weekend.